Hey guys, this is Miss Richardson. So this video is for the Honors Algebra 1 students. This week you're going to take your first assignment that's for a grade, and also you're getting your first bit of content this week. So I just kind of want to walk through the Canvas course with you and show you a couple of things. This week you were supposed to make a tessellation. Then you are going to take the pre-test. So I do see a grade that you have on your pre-test, but it doesn't go in the grade book. So that doesn't really count. And then you have your first bit of content, which is called Numerical Operations. And so I just wanted to kind of walk through, since this is the first time with this type of content that you've had, I just wanted to kind of walk through it with you. So I am going to share my screen. So my screen's going to look a little bit different than yours. You have student view, I have instructional or instructor view. But the first thing I want to point out is that you have different symbols right here under the module. If you have what looks like a link symbol, that just means that there are things for you to do there, but you're not going to be turning in an assignment for a grade. So you read the introduction earlier this week, and then when you see the rocket ship, that means that you have an assignment to turn in and you are earning points toward your grade. And then if you notice the next two, numerical operations, those are numbered and the words are exactly the same. And so the first that shows the link icon, that just means there are things for you to do there, but you're not earning any points toward your grade. And then the rocket ship shows you that you are taking a formative assessment. So I want you guys to go through the numerical operations content. So you're going to click on that. And I just want to make sure that you guys, as you're going through the lessons, you need to be reading for understanding. So you're not scanning, you're literally reading for details, okay? So in the last introduction, you went over what you'll find under the menu, how the notes will help you, the glossary, print, and the objectives tabs. And then as you go through each lesson, you want to first of all notice how many pages that particular lesson is. So you need to make sure that you click through 8 different pages. Every time you see a video, you need to watch the videos. They're not long, but they're going to give you some helpful information. Some of them are going to be more informative than others. This one here is just a very quick overview of everyday numbers. You can always show the text version. It will just read out to you, or you can read what the video will go over. Here, the next one, we have a diagram. Now, if you look at the diagram, you're not really sure what's going on, you can always say to show text version, and it kind of breaks down the diagram. So this is just showing that all of these types of numbers are real numbers. And within the real number umbrella, there are 2 groups. You either have rational numbers or irrational numbers. And then we start kind of in the middle. The smallest group of rational numbers are natural numbers. A little bit bigger group are called whole numbers. And then we have integers. And then finally, natural numbers, whole numbers, integers are all rational numbers. And of course, rational numbers are real numbers. So if you look at the diagram and you're like, I'm not sure exactly what they're showing me, then you're going to click Show Text Version and read through that. And then we have a number line, and after you find out what all of these things are, then it can show you what they are. So for example, on this number line, it shows us that natural numbers start with 1, and it's all the whole numbers to infinity. That's like when your mom taught you how to count, you always started with 1. You don't ever start with 0, so that's what they're called natural numbers. But then if you click whole numbers, the only digit is added is 0. So all natural numbers are whole numbers, and the only difference between a whole number and natural number is that it includes the number 0 for whole numbers. Integers, you can see if you click on that adds all negative whole numbers. So all natural numbers are integers, all whole numbers are integers, and integers include negative whole numbers. Then of course we go to rational numbers, which include not only the whole numbers and natural numbers and integers, but also decimals and fractions. And then finally, we see an example of irrational numbers, which are numbers that cannot be written in fraction form. If you're asked, what is the square root of a non-perfect square, that is a rational number. Excuse me, that is an irrational number. So if you put that in your calculator, it'll fill up your screen with numbers. They're decimals that go on forever and do not repeat in a pattern. So you can get further information if you click on Show Text Version. And then you need to pay attention to the essential questions. So those are the questions that you should answer. Make sure you can answer by the end of the lesson. So if you go through the lesson and you find out you can't answer these 2 questions, then that means you've missed something and you probably need to go through it again. All right, so then I just want to make sure, once again, that you click through this module. You want to stay inside the module. So you're not going to click the next button at the bottom of the screen. You're always going to click next or the forward arrow within the module. And then of course, just double check and make sure you're now on page 2 of 8. So now you're going to be shown some examples of adding and subtracting integers. So make sure you're reading everything. If there's anything interactive, you need to click on it. It's telling you to remember this phrase, so then it's going to read it to you.
Same signs, find the sum, keep the sign.
And then it can show you an example problem through 3 steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3. It's showing you that when you have 2 numbers that have the same sign, you add them, and the answer is the sign that's in the problem. So 2 positive numbers equal a positive number. 2 negative numbers, you're going to add those 2 digits, and your answer will be negative. I would always take advantage of looking at more examples, because the more examples you can look at and try and check your answers after you've solved them, the better understanding you'll be of that particular concept. Now, I realize adding and subtracting integers is not a new concept for you. So you may not need to look at every example, but it's never going to hurt you to go through all of the different examples. Now we're going to look at problems that have different signs. So the same type of thing, read, listen whenever it gives you an option to listen to a phrase, look at the steps broken down for you, check out the extra examples, and then at the bottom of the page, you're going to try it. However, this particular section here, no, this one's fine. Yeah, so you're going to click on your answer, and then the best thing about it is that you can check your answer. So 2 minus 4 is -2. Submit that. It gives you instant feedback. You're going to go to the next one. -3 minus 6 is -9. Submit it, and make sure you go through all the different examples. When you get to the bottom of the page, we're going to move forward by going to the forward arrow button. All right, you're going to go through this page. You're going to try it. Definitely want to try it. Anytime you have a way to try different problems, take advantage of that. Now, of all the interactive tools I've found so far, this is the only one that isn't working properly for me. So I don't know if it would work for you, but it's telling me that once I answer it, it hit the submit button, which I don't see. However, even though that one's not working the way it's supposed to, if I go to show text version, I can still kind of solve these problems in my head, and then I can go down here and check my answers. So I still get feedback even though it's not from exactly the, by me clicking on either a correct or incorrect answer. I'm going to come out of here. I'm going to watch this video, short and simple video. I'm going to watch the next one. I'm going to look at different examples. And then when I get to a section that says apply it, so basically it's going to get me a real world example of a problem in the particular lesson. So here we have John's checkbook. It tells us that John gets a new job, so he starts his checking account out with $250. He then pays his car insurance payment and wants to know what his balance is now. So if you scroll down, you're going to type his balance here, and you're going to continue to fill out John's checkbook by filling in the balances here, and then submit your answer and make sure you've done that correctly. So that's a great real world example application problem. All right, so you're going to go ahead and complete all of the pages, watch all the videos, click on all the different links. And then when you finally get to the end of the lesson, which means you'll be on page 8 of 8, it ends with reminding you of the essential questions. So it reviews what you've just gone over. It gives you different example problems for you to make sure you could solve all of those. And then it tells you, once again, what your essential questions are. So click on that. Those are the 2 questions that were posed on the first page. And it wants you to figure out whether you feel like you have finished this module and been successful, because you can answer those 2 questions. And then now you're ready to take the assessment. So you can either hit this next button, or you can always go back to the module, which is probably the safest thing to do. And now you're ready to take the formative assessment. And so that's going to be your first grade for me. The website can be a little slow. So you don't have a preview button, but you're going to start the assessment. Now, one of the things I like about the first lesson under each module is that it shows you, whoopsie, sorry about that. It shows you about how long it takes you, it should take you to get through the lesson. So under introduction and model pretest, hopefully you guys noticed this as you were going through them. On the last page, I believe it is, it gives you a breakdown of all the lessons in module 1. So it's on page 4 of 5. So you guys, we just went through numerical operations. According to the content page, it should take you about an hour to get through that lesson. So that's when you are reading all of any information given to you in text. You are clicking on the example problems, you're trying the interactive problems and checking your answers, you're watching the videos. And so this is just a review for you guys, because you have had positive and negative integers and operations with those numbers before. But especially as you get into new content, if I look at your activity on Canvas and I see that you spent 10 minutes on a module where it suggests that you spend 60 minutes, it's probably going to be the first thing I'm going to say. If you say that you don't understand something, I'm going to let you know that, first of all, you're going through the lessons too quickly. You need to slow down, and you really need to read for understanding. You need to do all of the example problems. This isn't like sitting in class and you're going to do, I'm not going to give you a worksheet and you're going to do the even problems and then we're going to check them in class. We don't have that type of ability through virtual learning. So you are taking a lot of your learning under your own responsibility. So so make sure you're interacting with the Canvas course correctly. All right, so I know you guys will do great. I know you will. I know you're gonna do what you're supposed to do. And if you have any questions or issues, please, reach out to me. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you. And so send me a message anytime and I will get back to you just as quickly as I can. All right, you guys, have a great week. Talk to you soon.